Hey guys, so in this video, I just want to show how I built this entire setup over here. I'm going to go about it from the experience of being just a regular designer with 3D experience, with motion graphics experience, and give you some advice on what you can do to do something like this very, very quickly. And this one is I've just haphazardly put everything together in about a few hours based on some 3D models and stuff that I sort of made. It's not completely from scratch and everything is recycled and stuff, but I also built everything in After Effects, a little bit of Blender, and I also use some online tools, and I'll talk about that. So the app I've been using is this thing called Scenery. The Scenery is a new immersive design tool that allows you to put together a whole bunch of different assets and then let them play on platforms like the Apple Vision Pro, iOS, and iPadOS. So if you have an iPad, you have an iPhone, you can totally do this without having a headset. Now, I recommend you using this because it allows for quite a lot of flexibility in terms of like file sizes. And if you're a motion graphics artist, you can definitely totally use this. Now, the thing about Scenery is that it sticks within the Apple ecosystem, meaning that whatever interactions they have there, that's default in terms of like with the Apple Vision Pro or with your iPhone or iPad. Now, why I like Scenery, this is more of an end-to-end solution, meaning that if you were to create something over here, you'd be able to just send a QR code or a link, and someone will be able to view it immediately without having to download an app. It is its own experience, and if you are an agency and you want to have a QR code to get into an experience, immediately you can totally do that. And one other cool feature about this is that it has geospatial, meaning that you can have an experience limited to within a geographical area. And the other thing is it uses the entire processing power of, say, the Apple Vision Pro or your iPhone. So you can do a lot of visual things like play video, and I've layered as many videos as possible over here. You can put 3D assets, and this particular project over here has 0 interactions. I just literally slapped everything, and I haven't even started playing with interactions yet. I just wanted to see how far I can push it in terms of video, and this is like has 3 different layers of video. Let me just go back into immersive and I'll show you it. So this is the experience in immersive, right? And as you can tell, like there's a lot of different layers. So if I go here for a second, behind us is like this sunrise. That's actually just a video that's immersive. It's basically just a 16:9 that I created in After Effects with a simple animation, and I just pressed a button to turn it into an immersive video. An immersive video is basically this gradient sort of thing, and it really feels really immersive. I'm really impressed. You can put an image or a video, and I just slapped it on, and already it looks so amazing. It's so awesome there. That's a 3D model just shoved in there. If you know 3D modeling, that's great. This is very, very optimized for low spec devices, so it's very low poly, but I haven't really had a chance to test this with high poly assets because whenever I make any kind of assets or think about assets, 3D assets, I try to make them as optimized as possible. And you can see all of my 3D assets here are very optimized. Now, the next layer over would be this sort of 3D screen over here. Now this 3D screen is 3D modeled, so it's actually curving a little bit to make it feel a little bit more immersive. And on top of that is another layer over here just to give it more volume and layers. And you can see it's transparent. So that was created while the 3D, this wall over here is a simple plane that I just split up, and then I curved it up, and then I put another layer on top of it. Now, this is actually just one video. So this is the bottom layer of a 16:9, and then the text that pops up over here, that's just the top of that same video. But what's happening is that these 2 3D layers are referencing a singular video that it's playing off of, right? Now, the characters, they're a little bit custom. What I did is I used this tool called Vroid Studio. Basically, it's a game character creation tool. I exported and I customized the layers or the skin or the textures in Photoshop, right? I 3D modeled the helmet myself, But yeah, I tried to make it as simple as possible, right? This is probably the most custom part of this, most work I put into it, but it wasn't really a lot of work because it's low poly. But if you want to have your own characters, there are other platforms that you can download. I think one of them is this tool, which I can't remember right now, but I'll put it on the screen. And yeah, you can just download that and then put it here. Now, in terms of the animations, what I did is I just literally took the 3D model and I threw it in this 3D animation tool called, you know, the name escapes me right now, but I'll put it up on screen. And this one's made by Adobe, right? And Adobe creates this tool that literally drag and drop any 3D model that you want, drag and drop and put it there. You can also use their 3D models. I recommend you try it out just to see, you know, what you can do. You export it into a format that you're not familiar with. It's called USDC, and it's an Apple and Pixar co-developed 3D format. And if you're having trouble like opening that up, just open it up on Blender, right? Blender is a free software, just download that, right? And you don't need to know Blender. What you're gonna do with Blender is just basically open it up and hit export. And when you're in export, make sure that to click this little button over there that says animation. So once you do that, it's pretty much just drag and drop and then place it somewhere. One more thing I want to talk about is this cube over here. Now this cube is basically just a cube. And the reason why I picked a cube is because it's the easiest to UV unwrap. Now UV unwrap is one of the hardest things that, you know, even 3D people that I've met don't 100% understand UV unwrapping. Basically, you're just telling the computer how to put a 2D texture onto the 3D surface. Now, this is just a box, and what I did is I first created a box, then I planned out in the UV map that certain sections that are being referenced on that UV map, and this one is the top section, this is another section over here. They all look the same, but they're all different parts of the UV map or the UV texture. So this is one on top, these ones on the side, and these ones are slightly different. And the reason I did that is so I can have some flexibility to do all of this. Basically, once I got everything, you know, planned out in Blender with UV mapping, I just exported the UV map reference, and then I just plotted it out in After Effects, and I did some simple animations. And those animations, all those simple in After Effects, look really amazing on this just simple block thing. And you know, whenever you try to do anything, try to make it as simple as possible. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the bottom over here. This is a portal. So this goes into sort of another world, and you can sort of see that there's a sphere over there, and I can put more things there, and I can have things coming in and out of it. I haven't done that interaction yet, but yeah, I mean that's basically the different layers that I've done. No interaction design yet. This is just stuff playing in a loop over and over and over again. I mean, that's basically how I built this. It's not that difficult to do. If you're a 3D designer, you just need to export to USDC or USDZ and just drag and drop it onto scenery. If you're a motion graphics designer, right, I recommend just at least thinking about like how you can layer your work. I mean, look at this. This is one layer, another layer, and this is just a transparent. Oh, I should have talked about this. This is a transparent H.265 video. So this video is just a transparent video that I exported from After Effects. And that's a transparent video. The one in the back is another video. And being able to see your work layered like this, right? One artwork over there in the back, one artwork over here, another one over there, and another one on this, all animated, is probably the most mind-blowing thing I've ever experienced. And this is just me testing. I wanted to see how far I could push it. I'm not sure how much further I can push this. I'm going to try adding more stuff to see how cool it will look. Now, I'm really excited to see what else I can do with this platform. There are other things that I haven't even tried out, namely interactive design, but also there are these things called shaders, right? And shaders allows you to create computer-generated graphics. Like there are things like bubbles that you can do. I'm really excited to see what I can do to add to this. And another reason why I picked this particular project is because a concert or a rave is one thing that's super immersive that you can just throw at and see how immersive or how cool it could be. For example, bubbles or or lights being thrown at you, you know, it's the perfect canvas to just throw stuff together and see how cool it looks, right? And if you really think about it, all of this stuff is actually quite simple to do in After Effects. It's not a lot of work. They're just simple layers, as you can see, but when put together, it looks really amazing. Anyway, that's my video, and I hope you learned something about this. I'm gonna keep playing around with the software and see how far I can take things. But you know, if you want to know anything about like trying to get into this, you know, just hit me up in the DMs or in the comments, and love to hear more. See ya.